What's up there, YouTube? Thanks for tuning in. Today we'll be talking about how I built this greenhouse for less than £50. Let's dig in.
It'll make your heart, make your garden grow.
So we'll start off with the basic dimensions for this grow house, which is 10 feet by 8 feet, and it's been constructed from pallet materials, greenhouse wrap, and bits of spare glass that I've had either found in the garden that had been discarded, and the other bit of glazing that I've actually used was from an old shower cubicle. Did mention that in a previous video, but just wanted to quickly go through that again. About 80 square feet of grow space, as I mentioned. That's not including the shelving at the back, which does actually give you a little bit more room. And obviously we're not using the whole of the floor space because we need some room to move. The front window is sloped back ever so slightly. Tried to go for approximately 15 degrees. What that is going to mean is that during the height of the summer it should be a little bit cooler, and during the winter it should be a little bit warmer, as it's tended more towards the angle of the winter sun than it is towards the summer sun. If we get a little bit closer, you can see I've actually tried to keep the majority of the construction underneath the plastic wrap, try and protect it. I built the main structure first and then wrapped the plastic around the outside of it, securing it in place with these boards over the top, the screws, just like that, and just like this. And if you just put the screws straight through the plastic, as you can see here, it does actually just tear as the wind catches it. Towards the bottom I have used boards where possible to save on the plastic, because I do have raised beds actually inside there. So obviously they didn't need to be glazed all the way up the sides, because there would be soil filling a portion of that. Just take you around, we'll go inside. That's the old shower cubicle door. And on the other side there is the other piece of glass from the old shower cubicle. Salvaged that from my parents' house. Aside from the pallet wood, I have actually made use of some of the better timber from the old shed that was here. So these side beams here, you can see, it's from the old shed. You can still see they've got some of the old paint on it. And I've just mounted those to stakes in the floor. Stakes have been the primary means of gaining stability to the structure. Give it some really good foundation. So there are numerous stakes that have been driven as far into the floor as I could possibly manage. Soil here is actually quite compact when you get down a little bit deeper. So starting with these forward grow beds, they've been built out of salvaged bricks. These were reclaimed from a previous project in my parents' house, and also dug up various places from around the garden. There's so much rubble buried here, it's been a blessing and a curse, but I've said that before. As I mentioned in the last video, the reason I've been building out of bricks in here for the grow beds themselves is because they make a really good thermal mass, and what that's going to do is going to absorb the heat from the ambient air and from the sun during the day, and then release it during the evening when it cools off, to keep the ambient temperature in here a little bit higher during the night, and that should aid in extending the growing season through the winter. The little pool we've got in here does look a little bit grotty, but that's not supposed to be, like a particularly pretty structure on its own. Its main purpose is to just maintain the humidity in here. Don't want the air getting too dry. The plants like a little bit of moisture in the air, so that's the actual function of this pond. Hopefully in time we will get a little bit of life in there, maybe some frogs or some toads, which are really good as slug defences, and sort of keeping pests away in general. Used cross bracing on the walls wherever possible, because this is built out of pallet wood, which isn't is very rarely of good quality, so just been reinforcing the strength with cross members wherever I possibly can. These shelving units at the back were pretty much put in as is. person down the road had a bunch of stuff delivered for their garden, and they had all their plants on these shelves with a big pallet base. So I had all of them off, and that has been like the main construction material that we've been using here. Speaking of construction, besides the pallets and the bricks, these have been my primary tools. Really simple, nothing exciting, not got many power tools at all, mainly just the drill. Pliers, hammer, handsaw, string, Gorilla Tape, and a drill, and a whole bunch of screws, and that's basically been it for materials. One of the few things that I did actually buy, besides my own screws, was 3 of these. Got them off Amazon, I think it was, for about £12 a piece. It's 2 metre wide by 6 metre length, and I've actually got loads of this left over. So that's going to be great for using for projects. So there's about 36 quid there in plastic sheeting. That was my primary expense. This was about 15 quid for those, and I've not even used all of them. The glass was free, and that's basically it, you know. There's not a lot to it. The basic principles that I've been employing in here has been to use, the raised beds, so I can control the soil quality a little bit better, and so I don't need to start digging up through the ground and unleashing all sorts of weed seeds and God knows what. So now we're actually inside, and you can really see what I was talking about before. The majority of the structure is contained within the plastic to protect it from the elements. I didn't want to just be painting loads and loads of wood to be building this with, so I've kept as much of the structure contained within the plastic as I possibly can. Things that I would have done differently if I was to do this project again: I would have wrapped the walls completely separately from doing the roof. What I did first was, because this had to be backed up against the fence and I wasn't going to be able to get behind to attach the plastic particularly easily, is before I built the rest of the structure, started off with just this shelving that you see here. I put that in, and then I wrapped all of that back section with plastic and left whatever was remaining trailing. After I'd finished building the rest of the structure, I then extended that leftover material all the way along on this side up to this piece of old shed, and then on the other side I did a similar thing, but I extended the leftover material out to here. There was a little bit left over in terms of height, which is wrapped over the top. You can see here this piece. We get a little bit closer. Yeah, that's a separate little piece there. That's the side material that was left over. It's come all the way across to the centre there. You can see it's been pulled up the back and then flows all the way over here up to there. So what I would have done is I would have just wrapped the sides. I wouldn't have then tried to flow the material up over onto the top. I would have used a completely separate piece of material and done the whole of the roof from one end all the way to the other in one continuous sheet, because there's actually numerous little breaks in this. What I've done is I've treated it more like a polytunnel and run this forward section. The plastic sheeting has been run from the bottom all the way up, over the top, and this piece continues all the way to there, where it terminates. You can see up here. And that's the same all the way along. The rest of it is actually contained inside here. There's a little sandwich going on there, and the plastic's in between that. Back section, just to the middle, you can see I've made it a lot more complicated than it needed to be. But it's been a bit of an evolving project. Wasn't sure how much room I was going to have, how big it was going to be. I kind of had to play it by ear. I've gained loads and loads of experience from doing this. And if I was given the choice between spending 200 odd pound on a pre-built polytunnel or doing this again myself, I'd do this. It's been a lot of fun. It's been hard work. I won't lie to you, it has been hard work. It's been challenging mentally and physically, particularly in this heat, working inside here. But it's been worth it. I'm really, really pleased with what I've ended up with here. It should be a really, really good growing space that'll allow me to grow some more exotic crops, like hopefully my pineapple. I will let you know how this does. It's only been in there a couple of days, so we'll see. And if you've got any suggestions or any comments, please, leave that down below. I'd really, really love to hear from you. Any opinions and suggestions are always welcome. I'm always willing to talk to you about particular reasons why I've done things in a given way. If you want to get a little bit more information, I'd love to hear from you. So what's stopping you from giving it a go? Don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
It'll make your make you God